farm lane, and it was a single tree that had several trunks coming out of it. And we put planks down. So the planks, we just got them from the farm and put them in position ourselves as kind of platforms, I would say. It was right by the lane, so you had to climb over the wall, and then the tree was attached to the wall. Oh, and in fact, it was right by where Dad used to do the dipping of the sheep. And there was a big hole there. I don't know why there was a big hole, and I fell in it once, sort of up to my neck type thing.
And would you use it all year round?
We would, yeah. We'd hide our treasures there. Lots of stashes of lots of things.
And how did you store things then?
In a tin, usually, and then we'd leave it, and then you couldn't open the tin. And we tried to store sweets and biscuits, but they always went off. So, yeah, how it is. You should store stones as well, you know, where you collect stones that are nice. I would say, if you're going architecture, I would say this sort of churchy architecture. You know, where you have the dark wood and then you have a flower with 4 petals carved into it. But if you remember that thing that we put on Julia's ceiling, they were all flowers.
Yeah.
Cut out flowers, Matisse style type thing.
Yeah.
And it's always dark wood, it has to be dark. So there's sort of columns as well that you get. I think that's probably where I get my delusions from grandeur. Yeah, we used to have to go to church every Sunday, and I suppose you have an hour where you've got nothing to do, really, apart from meditate, I suppose. It's probably one that's not really talked about very much anymore. So those spaces sort of calm you down and re-energise you for life and the rest of the world.
And I even ran away on holiday once when we were in Wales. We used to go to a place called Llanbedrog, where I had these 2 amazing great aunts. They were straight out with the hospitality, and they always used to have buttered scones as well. So they used to do their frazzled egg, and it was just like stepping back in time, and comforting. So why I ran away, I have no idea why I used to run away. But my dad was probably frantic running around. I think I was crying when the lady came by on a horse. And there wasn't one, I think there was a couple of horses. But as I say, she was quite posh and she was on top of the horse. Little girl! These 2 old aunties who were, it was as if they knew everything that had happened. And this particular Auntie Esther, she was like saying about something about she knew from the horses or something of where I'd been. I just remember thinking, oh my God, she's a witch, she knows everything, she knows where I've been, she knows. If they'd lived up the road, it would have been magical as a kid, because then you would have run away there, you see. It came from, never heard of Gaudi as an artist, and I bought an LP with nice sleeves, you see, with lots of lovely artwork on. And it was Alan Pass's project, and it was just Gaudi. And there was a track on there which is called La Sagrada and Familiar. And of course, lots of the artwork inside the sleeve is from the Sagrada. I didn't say before, but mathematician in the background, bit of a mathematician. So really quite taken by all the sort of the architecture, etc., and the shapes and whatever. And so they're from years and years and years. I just think I'm going to go there one day, I'm going to go there one day. I'm not going until I'm ready. I want to go when I can spend as much time as I want there. And it became sort of like almost like a bit of a quest. Yeah. You know, and people would say, oh, have you never been to the Sagrada Familia yet? You know, you've travelled all over the world and you've never been to Barcelona. And as I say, I went when I was 50 and it was just amazing.
This is an attic room.
Books and stuff, or?
Books and stuff.
And how were they piled up?
Oh, it's piled in piles. And of course, so that sort of stack of records that you'd sort of flip through. And I had a sort of portable record player, which I don't have now, which had belonged to my dad. My dad died when I was really young, so I had some stuff of his. And I don't think I've got anything of his at all. The stuff got lost. Because I got really distracted by grief, I guess, with Colin, and I actually put all my stuff into somebody's garage, another mate, and their parents sort of got impatient after 6 months and chucked it away. It wasn't just a record player. It was basically my mother had given me everything. So this is like you know you take a lock of baby's kids. So it was my hair, obviously, the wedding pictures, the lot. So effectively everything that was surrounding this guy, my dad built, I had, and lost it. We all meet every year at this old sort of manor house. This place that's it's quite secret. It's kind of like, it's almost like we found this place and broke into it.
Oh, I get you.
And which, you know, we did.
Which is very Blighton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's something that I would never do anywhere else. Is he always gets a karaoke thing. Oh, two things actually. Yeah, the karaoke is one, and it's got big glass cases with animals in them. But another thing is that somebody at some point has made his head, right, and it looks like a decapitated head of the guy who owns the place. Every time you forget about this thing, and then you go back to the house and go, oh, it's that again. Another thing that we always do, that she always, I mean, why the hell does she arrange this? We always do archery. So there's this guy who comes, and we he does archery.
I used to go over to my dad's house, and he had a closet. So he used to work for the phone company, so he could get all sorts of different colored wires that I could like make into bracelets and stuff. I could shut the door, but I was claustrophobic, so it was like a little test for me if I closed it.
So it could just be a little.
So just practice closing the door, and I'm here. It'll be your own little sanctuary, and we used to like make forts, like sheet forts out of it and stuff.
So you just would almost build outwards from the den.
Exactly. Yeah, and then you like crawl into it, right? My dad had a big imagination, so. My balcony. It's just the size of the balcony. We have our little plants and all that out there. It's the sound of the hummingbirds that come around to the feeder and fly in and kind of look at us and fly out again. It's the arbutus trees. It's the oak trees. We have a view of the ocean from here, so we can see boats going by. It's just in the fresh. I just love it. I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I was for a while having a cup of coffee out there, and actually we can see it's a volcano across from us. It's called Mount Baker. Okay. So the sunrise will come up behind Mount Baker, so I can see that in the morning. After a day's work, after I ride my bike home and just get my glass of wine and my Outlander book and sit out there and go.
It's just a tree, really, at the bottom of our garden. But it was, the way this tree grew. It was one of those where the branches go back down to the ground, the big ones, and then curve back up. I think it was a weeping ash or a weeping willow. The garden was sort of long, just like a world apart. And it's not that we particularly were trying to hide. It's just that just gave a different sense of freedom, really. I sort of have a fond memory of his. Behind the branches. It's a bit like being behind a waterfall. Yeah, it was actually, yeah. At one point when we were growing up, Mum said we had our own language. But the funny thing is that now we disagree about certain things, but there's this thing that never takes away, that it doesn't shake at that other bond from childhood. It was in Greece, actually. I was having a year abroad, and they have these student halls, but there's a communal space. Actually, that's quite a good word, because estia means hearth, but that's the word they use for the student halls of residence. Playing backgammon, and then there's cooking, sort of trying to cobble together some sort of meal, but, in a student sort of way. It's quite bare. Wouldn't quite know who would pop in. A group did form, and the Greeks have got this lovely word, pareia, that means your company. It's that. Yeah. Because no one owned that space, and because it's a residential hall, people come and go to the different rooms.